Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to reload an iOS widget programmatically from your app in Flutter iOS using WidgetKit and AppIntent. So let's get started. So firstly I will explain you what exactly I will do. I will create a simple label inside our text label inside our app, and I have one button. Every time the user clicks on a button, I am incrementing the count and storing it inside user defaults. Now if you don't know what user defaults is, it's basically like shared preferences used to store key value data. Now why I'm not using shared preferences? The reason is that shared preferences is a Flutter library. Internally it might use user defaults, I'm not really sure about that. But it's very difficult to call some Flutter code from widget code, because the widget code will be entirely written in Swift. That's why I have chosen something which is accessible both from Flutter side as well as from native iOS side. That's why I have taken user defaults. Instead of user defaults, you can take Swift data, core data. You can also fetch data from a network API, or you might have a simply different use case altogether. You can do anything with widgets, but just to keep things simple I am using something like this. So I have just created a Flutter application. I have written some of the code, but I will explain it to you as we go along. Like I will also write some of the other code related to widget by myself. I mean basically I will be copy pasting it, but yeah. So first what setup I have done is that I have created a Flutter application. Then inside our main.dart file I have imported these services. Rest everything remains the same. This I have refactored the homepage widget to be a stateful widget, and it has this method channel called widget platform, and here I have taken this data variable which is empty at the very start. Then inside this init state I just call this get value. So here we are calling this get value, and we are invoking a method called get current value. So as soon as our app is displayed, we get the value which is stored inside user defaults and display and assign it to our data variable. Then here I have just taken this text button, and on press of it we are just invoking this increment method. So whatever is stored inside user defaults we will increment by 1. So we'll write the entire logic on native iOS side, and once we have the result we again assign it to our data variable. And here you can see we are just displaying this inside our text element, and this text is for our button. Now we'll have to define this widget method channel with the same name on native iOS side, as well as this get current value as well as increment method. So for that you will have to open the XE workspace of iOS folder inside Xcode. I have already done that. First you will have to go to app delegate, and here you can see that I have created this Flutter view controller, and then we have created this method channel with widget platform as the name. Then here we are looking for two methods. First is increment, second is get current value. So here you can see that I am now if you have a little knowledge of native iOS, you might be wondering that to use user defaults we can just use user defaults dot standard dot whatever set or get, but we can't use user defaults dot standard because we want to persist this user defaults on widget side as well. That's why we have to use something like user default suit name, and typically what suit name I give is group dot whatever is the bundle identifier of your app. So if you go to your project, select over here, go to sign in and capabilities, and here this is my bundle identifier. So typically I just copy this and I go to app delegate and I just pasted it over here. Okay, so this is for increment. So we get the whatever is the current value inside user defaults. If there is no value it will be 0. Then we just get the current value, we increment it by 1 and then set it the new value and return this result back to Flutter side. For getting the current value again we use the same thing. We fetch the value from user defaults, whatever is the current value, and just return it back. Okay, so that's it. Then coming back to the widget code, which is the important part, you just have to click on file, new, target, and here inside iOS just search for widget extension, click next, give it some whatever name you feel like. I will just name it as Flut app widget, and uncheck this include live activity as well as include control, and just click on finish. And then we have to click on this activate button as well. Once that is done, go to your project again, in target select your app, and here in signing you will have to click on this plus capability, select your app group, and again for app group what name typically I give is just click on this plus button. I will just paste my bundle identifier. I'll remove this space and I'll just copy this. I'll click on OK. So here you can see it has used this bundle identifier. Then you will have to go to your extension. Again you will have to click on this plus capability, select app group, and here you will again have to what I will do, I will just search for it. We don't have to create it again. So this is the one, right, which we created. In case if you are not able to find it, you can click on this plus button and create it again, but typically it would be already there. Once that is done, you will go to our Flutter app widget code, go over here. I will just dismiss this, and here inside simple entry, what exactly we are storing inside user defaults, we are storing a count which is of type integer. So that's what I will add over here, because we want to display this count inside our widget, right? That's why we need to add it. Now where is simple entry used? It is used over here, so we will get an error. So that's why we'll have to add this count. Okay, and I will create one helper method called get value, which will basically fetch the value from user defaults. Now same code, I will just copy this and I'll have to paste it over here as well. And here also I will just comment this code out, and here we just have to create an array, right? So I'll just copy this, I will just paste it over here. Okay, and you can change the policy, like here you can actually pass the time, how frequently you want to update your widget automatically, but you can't keep it as 1 minute or 2 minutes. iOS will typically decides it, basically keep it as 15 minutes I would say. But yeah, for now I'm not touching this because I want to reload the widget on button click of my app, right? That's why I'm not really interested in this. Again I'll just copy this, we have to add count over here as well. Now we have to define this get value method. So for that what I can do is I will just go to my practice project which I had already created. Okay, over here, and I'll just open this particular thing. So I will just copy this get value method which we have already created inside my practice project, and I'll just paste it over here. Now I will have to change this to our own thing, right? So if you remember, inside app delegate it was com.example.flutter. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So this is done. The key is stored number, so that's what I'm using over here. Also here you change it to back to your runner, and here for entry date I'll just select it as now. Okay, now here also we will get an error. This is only for preview purpose, so I can just comment this out. Now coming back to the UI, so again I'll just remove this, and here I will just copy this particular UI. So it will basically display the count which is present inside user defaults, as well as one button which will help us to increment the count. Now to increment the count, we can't directly add a click listener, we have to make use of AppIntent. So I will just right click, new empty file, and create this particular file called increment intent. Again I'll just go back to my practice project and copy the code, and then I'll explain it to you. So I'll just copy this one and I'll paste it over here. So here this is our title, this is our key name. Again we'll have to change this, so I'll just go back over here and I'll just copy this. Here you can see now the error is gone for this, so I'll just paste it over here. Again basically once your button is clicked, this particular method gets called, and we are doing the same thing. We are getting the value from user defaults, updating it by 1 and setting it to a user defaults again. Now I will just do this command I. Okay, alright, so this is done. Now how to update our widget, right? So for that again I'll go back to my practice project, I'll open the view controller. So basically we have to call this particular method, this particular thing. So for that we'll firstly I'll go to our main.dart. I will create one more button called text button. You can name it whatever you feel like. Okay, and child, I will give it, I will just copy this and I'll paste it over here, and I will just name it as reload widget. Okay, next we have to give an on press as well, right? So I will just add on press, and I will just add this. Now again we'll have to create a method, right? So I'll just again copy this particular thing. We just have to change the method name to reload widget, reload. Okay, and here I will just add async, Okay, I think a sync should be here. Okay, so something like this I have added. Now we'll have to define this method on app delegate. So I'll just go to app delegate, and here I will add I'll just copy this again, and I'll add an else if clause. I will add a closing brace as well, and here we'll just have to change the method name to reload. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now I will again go back to my view controller, and I will suppose if you have a lot of widgets inside your application, you can just call this particular thing widget center.share.reload all timelines, but I only have one widget, and the name of the widget is important. Also you have to import WidgetKit, so I'll just add this. Here you can see I've added this import WidgetKit, and now we have to write the name of our widget. So to get the name, just go to this Flutter app widget, and here is our widget name, Flutter app widget. So I'll come over here again and I'll paste it over here. Now it is saying me that this is only available from iOS 14 and above. I'll just do Control I. Okay, so this is, now I will just go to our app, and I can go to, I think, general, and I will update this to iOS 15, I guess, and this also here. Okay, I think this should be it. For some reason this if you try to move it away, sometimes it goes back to what we had previously. Also, yeah, I think this should be fine. Now I will just try to run the application. In case if there are more errors, I will get back to you. I don't think so there should be any more errors. Let's see. I'll try to run the application. Okay, I am getting one more error saying that this localized string is only available from iOS 16. So I'll just go back to my app again. Okay, and I'll just change this to iOS 16, and I'll come over here, over here, and also here I'll change it to iOS 16. Hopefully, yeah, then again I'll try to rerun this application. Hopefully this time it should work. Okay, I'm getting this error as well. Okay, what I will do is I will just update it to 17 as well. I'm not really sure what is the minimum, because I didn't face this issue previously. Suddenly I'm facing this issue. Also, one more thing which you have to do is you will have to select your target, go to build phases, and here you will have to move this above, because I know I was getting an error previously. So these two have to be moved above run script, so embed framework as well as embed foundation extension. Let me run this application again. Let's see if there are any more errors or not. So here is the output. Now if I click on this increment button, here you can see the value is incrementing. Now the value is 9. I will just close this app. I will just long press on it. I will click on edit home screen. I'll click on edit, click add widget, select search for your app with your app name. I'll just select this, and here you can see it is displaying the value 9 already. Here you can select any one of this. I'll just select this one. I'll click on done, and I can increment this value from here as well. Now the value is 15. If I go back to my app, here it is still showing 9, because I need to completely remove the app and reload it again, because I'm calling this value on init state, right? I'm not calling this once our app is already in background and it is moved to foreground. That's why it was showing the old value. Now I will increment it here again, so it is 20, but our widget is still if you see showing 15. Now if I just click on reload widget, now this 20 value is reflected over here as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.